So the Creator's goal from the get-go has always been to live with his creation, right? Right. Okay, so let's review. The original idea was found in Genesis 3:8. It was to have face-to-face communion with Elohim, right? So they're in the garden, they're communing face-to-face, they're walking in the garden with Yehovah, with Papa. That is the heart of the whole thing. That's why he created them, because he wanted fellowship with them. He wanted to extend his his love, his glory and create more. So the original idea was that we would have face-to-face contact with our Creator. The past provision found in Leviticus 26:11, Exodus 40:34, all these verses tell us that Yehovah lived with us in where? In a tabernacle in the wilderness. And then he ended up living with us in the temple when King Solomon built it, right? And so here you have the original idea. Yehovah wants to live with us. Okay, sin happens, can't do that way anymore. So he has to make a new way. So provision in order to get to live with him is the tabernacle in the wilderness, and then Shekinah glory living with us in the temple. And then you speed ahead again, and Yeshua comes. Yeshua is partial fulfillment of Sukkot, because part of Elohim, Yeshua is Elohim, so he came and he tabernacled among us. He's the bread of life who was born in a sukkah in Bethlehem. He was laid in a bread trough. I'm going to talk about this all in a little bit. He tabernacles with men for those 27 to 29 years, right? I think it's 29 years he tabernacled with us. The ancients were actually keeping track of ages. Did you know this? And Yeshua was, remember when it talks about Yeshua being 2 years old when the wise men came, when he was 12 years old and he was lost in the temple. So they were counting years. So there's nothing wrong with counting years, people. Or having birthdays, which we're going to talk about in a second. But then look at the present provision. So the present provision for Yehovah to live with us, because remember this is the goal of Sukkot, the present provision for Yehovah to live with his people is to live here in our hearts through the empowerment of the Ruach HaKodesh. So the Ruach HaKodesh now lives in our hearts. So the temple is here. So he lives here with us in our hearts, right? That's the present provision. Find that in Ephesians 3:16-17. All right, so then you look at the future provision, right? The future provision, because remember, the idea, the original idea was to have face-to-face contact with our Creator, and then sin happened. Our choice, or not my choice, but the fall happened, which separated us. Then he has to make provisions for him to live with us until he can restore us, right? So you have the past provision, then of the tabernacle in the wilderness and the temple, and then you have the Yeshua fulfilling that partially by coming to live among us and showing us who Elohim is. And then you have the present provision, which is the rock living right here. But the future provision is found in Revelation 21:3, where it says Yeshua returns and he lives with us for that 1,000 years, and he rules here. So he's going to take over all the governments of the world when he comes back, and he's going to live here and rule here with us for 1,000 years. That is another layer, a prophetic layer of Sukkot. The final provision, the final layer of Sukkot is when Yehovah comes and restores the original idea, right? Face-to-face contact. So in the 8th millennium, he is going to come and live with us forevermore and restore that original idea of living together, right? So all this journey in between, all this hard stuff in between, the plan of redemption and everything, and why it's so important for you to get onto that narrow path and do whatever it takes to be in line with him, so that you can be there when the king comes back, when Yehovah, the high king, comes back and brings a new Jerusalem, makes a new heaven and the new earth for us to live together face to face with him forevermore. Oh, isn't that going to be a wonderful day? Yes, it is. That is the hope of Sukkot, my friends. That is the whole point of the story. The whole point is to get us back to face-to-face contact with Him. As we were created, this is a tangent, bump in the road, not just a bump, it's been pretty much of a ride, that's for sure. But He's going to bring it back to His original intention. Never doubt. That He is going to do at all costs. So Sukkot is actually the heart of the entire story. It is the heart of the plan of redemption. Because the heart of Sukkot is about being free to live together. Which means that this feast is super prophetic, and the hope that it brings is something to truly rejoice in.